Well, the stadium is beginning to fill up, and we're looking forward, as we've been saying, to a West Yorkshire derby. Important for both clubs for different reasons, you might say, just at the moment. Huddersfield Town have found life something of a struggle since they dropped down to this championship level after their spell in the top flight. Huddersfield are hoping that they can climb away from the relegation zone in the championship just at the moment, whereas, of course, Leeds United have their sights set on loftier matters through the course of the second half of the championship season. Leeds United pushing hard for promotion and looking to continue recent good form and the recent good winning run here against their local rivals this Saturday lunchtime. Delighted to say Ben Parker, former Leeds player, is alongside me. We're hemmed into the media seats here at the John Smith Stadium and looking forward to the spectacle and probably a bit of a battle. Would that be right, Ben?
Yes, good afternoon, Bryn. Good afternoon, everyone else. It is going to be a battle. These type of games, especially against Huddersfield, coming to this stadium, always difficult. Make it into a real battle. We heard the comments from their manager in the week, almost saying it's a one-off game. Form goes out of the window, and it does to a certain extent. But from our point of view, we'll be full of confidence. 5 wins on the bounce, looking to make it 6. And the performance last time out against Middlesbrough, almost like the perfect performance, and getting an early goal, getting the second stroke of half time, and then dominating the second half. And if we reach anywhere near those type of levels today, we should run out winners, but we've got to match them for the work rate, and then hopefully our quality will take over.
The great and the good are arriving in the seats around us. Eddie Gray, immaculate as ever, just a little way down, a few rows in front of us. Tony Dorigo, who was sitting alongside me for the Borough game last weekend, is sitting a few rows in front of me, a spectator for Leeds this afternoon. And we're expecting a big crowd here at Huddersfield. They've seen a bit of a drop-off in gates since dropping a level from the Premier League, and it's been tough times for Huddersfield because last season was a bit of a disaster for the club, really, in terms of their Premier League status. They didn't fight hard at all for it, and they went down with pretty much a whimper. 16 points only put on the board last season, and this was not at all a happy hunting ground for them at home. But they're unbeaten in the last 6 in front of their own supporters this season. Danny Cowley's come in and turned things around just a little bit here, because the start to the season had not been great, and they've been hard to beat at the very least here recently. 2 wins, 4 draws. So I think Leeds United are going to have to work for it, aren't they, Ben? I suppose you'd say that about any game in the Championship, though. Yeah,
but with the Cowley brothers, hearing stories at the previous clubs, especially Lincoln, knowing a couple of players there, they spend up to an hour sometimes practicing kickoffs. So the finer details, this is why they've got a good reputation, the Cowleys. Yet training sessions can be long, a bit grueling, but they seem to work. And yeah, you mentioned about the home form. It has picked up. There's quite a lot of the fans on the pitch there. It looks like half of the fan base has come onto the pitch at the moment. But no, these are the fine details we've got to match them for, because if you go player for player, yeah, we've got the most quality. We've got the better team, the better squad, but sometimes games, and especially Yorkshire derbies, are settled by who works the hardest, doing the horrible side of the game. And this is where we've kind of probably come unstuck over the years, approaching these games, because, as you mentioned, Bryn, every team does raise the game, and more so when we play those derby matches. But recent times, obviously, got the draw at Sheffield Wednesday, where we had to work ever so hard. And even at Barnsley when we had to kind of grind it out when we probably weren't at its best. But we're starting to learn these type of games, these type of matches. It's not all about the performance, just getting the job done, getting the 3 points, ticking it off and moving on to the next one.
Big conversation pre-match, of course, is what Leeds United are going to look like when they appear from the tunnel in terms of the starting lineup, because it's a difficult one to call with no Liam Cooper. That's really thrown everybody a little bit out in terms of their potential predictions, isn't it?
Yeah, we mentioned in the build-up about what a big loss Liam Cooper's going to be missing today, and he is, because I think he's been excellent. A lot of talk and a lot of praise has been about Ben White, how well he's done this year, and rightly so. But I've got to give a big mention to the skipper as well. I think he's been a colossal figure at the back. He just goes about his business and just under the radar, and always find good centre-halves, good defenders. That's what they do. They just get on with the job. No frills, no spills. He's a calming influence, but he's going to be a big miss. And you're right. We've been trying to guess what way we're going to go. We've come up with Dallas at right back, Ayling, Berardi 2 centre-halves, Alioski at left back. But we know with Bielsa, Everyone else has a thought process what they think it might be. He's the only one man who kind of does something different, and it works. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a back three at times, back five. They're so fluid and they're so kind of confident. They're so well drilled, these players. They can float around, do different types of formations, different systems. But the end goal, as long as it works, and it's been working so far this year.
Yeah, one of the suggestions has been Ben White in the central midfield role, the sort of defensive midfield role, sitting just in front. If that is the case, there are not actually any central defenders in the back line potentially, are there? They're all full-backs.
Technically, yes. But under Bielsa, what he's installed into the squad since he took over, you've got to be able to play 2-3 positions and play him well. And look, he's got every confidence. If it's going to be Ayling, Berardi, two centre halves, they've played numerous games there, so the confidence levels will be good, the understanding will be good. Well, there's no excuses to not carry on our great defensive record. The Kiko as well at the back, he's giving the defenders a lot of confidence. The way he comes out for crosses, his distribution, it's just a solid basis to go and build upon clean sheets, and that said, the confidence spreads throughout. But you mentioned Ben White moving into that central role. Don't see it as a problem one little bit. He's got the quality. Again, mentioning the pre-match kind of show, the build-up. The only problem, not the problem, but the kind of alteration they have to make to his game, just check his shoulders a little bit more. Yeah. The speed of the game be a bit higher in that middle of the park. But the ability, it just oozes class, does the guy. When he strides forward with the ball, it might be. I ain't seen better centre halves at this football club, going all the way back to Rio Ferdinand and Jonathan Woodgate, and he reminds me exactly how they play. But he'll have no problem stepping into that position. That's if he plays there.
So it'll be all eyes on the starting lineup for Leeds United. The away seats are pretty much full now. Short journey for another crazy kick-off time for Leeds United, but I guess everybody gets used to it, don't they? We're all assembled here quite early on a Saturday lunchtime. Spilled straight out of bed and made the short journey across from Leeds in the LUTV mobile this morning. And we are now all ready for the start and the appearance of the two teams who are now lining up in the tunnel to make their appearance here in a game that Huddersfield Town have a pretty good record in this fixture in recent meetings. And the last time the two teams met, a few seasons ago, it was Huddersfield who claimed the derby on their way to promotion, and it was a last-minute winner that got them the victory here in front of their own supporters. Epele, the German player who got the goal. So the resumption of hostilities between these two West Yorkshire rivals, not, you would say, were traditional rivals, not in my sense, not to my understanding of it anyway, but maybe to those who have come a little later to the Leeds United party. These are two teams who have a fierce rivalry. Back in my day, it was always Manchester United.
Always will be as well, Bryn.
But maybe that one is one for another season, and another season not too far away. Leeds United have another excellent opportunity to keep pressure on at the right end of the championship table here on this Saturday lunchtime. As the two teams go through the pre-match handshakes, Huddersfield Town are struggling to find players for this game. They've recalled 4 young players from loan deals throughout the course of this week, because their first team squad is starting to look somewhat threadbare. They lost Frazier Campbell from the 11 that lost at Bristol City last week. He went off early in that game and hasn't made it for this game. So theirs is a very inexperienced bench, but Leeds United not a million miles behind them on this particular game, on this particular day. They've got a few out as well, so there are 1 or 2 unfamiliar names amongst potential Leeds United replacements for this game this afternoon. I guess we're at that stage of the championship season now, and the games again set to come thick and fast, where the squad is all important, and those that you can bring into your first team when players are being lost through injury, or as in Leeds' case with Calvin Phillips through suspension, where the strength of the squad becomes ever more important.
And it's so important that the work that goes behind the scenes at Thorpe Arch. You mentioned the young bench, a name wearing number 49 for us, Ollie Casey. He's stepped in. The people who've been watching under 23s, he's shone out there. Young centre half he is. Bryce Zana as well. He's on the bench today, and it goes to show if you work hard, you apply yourself well, you do well in training, And ultimately, playing well in the under-23, you're going to get given opportunities. And the way we work at Thorpe Arch, from 23 to first team, the training's exactly the same, so there's no problem. The manager trusts these players to come in when called upon. And like I say, it's an important time of year where you do need majority of your squad fit when the games they come. It's like every 2-3 days, but the onus is on us today. You see, just waiting for us huddle with Luke Ayling, the captain for today, stepping in ahead of for Liam Cooper. But you mentioned a youthful bench, but we look so strong. Plenty of quality in our starting lineup. Really excited just to see how we set up.
Leeds have conceded just 10 goals so far this season. Huddersfield, by contrast, have conceded 31. So Leeds United will see potential there to exploit the defensive frailties displayed potentially by Huddersfield. But the emphasis, given the makeshift nature of Leeds' backline, might also be on ensuring that they don't allow Huddersfield Town opportunities themselves. So as we have a glance at it now, with Leeds set to kick off, or Huddersfield rather, set to get the game underway. Leeds United defending the end in front of the travelling supporters in this first half. So therefore kicking towards them in the second period, which I would guess would be the chosen way of doing it here for them. That huge army of travelling fans, as always, here to back the team today. Leeds in the change colours this afternoon, the dark grey and shocking pink. Huddersfield Town in traditional blue and white striped shirts, white shorts, white socks, and the game is underway, and Huddersfield start us off, and the ball is quickly played up into the Leeds half, and we'll see how that team lines up now. I don't think it's going to be any different to what we were anticipating, but Leeds have conceded an early free kick, and it is in a troublesome position. It's a centrally placed free kick, and it's only 15 yards or so outside of the Leeds penalty area, so very early defending for this new look Leeds lineup to do here. A few conversations going on between players as they try and work out who goes where, and the formation of the wall they assembled just outside the Leeds penalty area. Helder Costa with his feet on the edge of the D indeed. And the ball is just to the right of centre as we look at it. Kiko Casilla lines up his four-man wall. Ayling, Costa, Bamford and Hernandez. So it looks like Huddersfield Town lining up for a strike at goal from this sort of range. Grant, the leading goal scorer, over the ball. And potential is that he might be one of those who's involved in striking it now, with just a minute or so gone in the first period of this game. Leeds United ready for the free kick now, and there's a delay because there's a conversation going on involving Luke Ayling and the Huddersfield player who is standing just in front of the Leeds United wall, Jonathan Hogg, who's been told that he shouldn't be there. Now the free kick comes in, it actually strikes the wall. Almost chaotic scenes as the free kick was taken there, and now Huddersfield Town, well, they don't have a corner kick because it's a foul conceded by Schindler for a late challenge on Ben White. Ben White's okay, back up on his feet, and Leeds United happy enough to have survived that opening period of some pressure.
Yeah, strange kind of opening really, a bit niggly, a few handbags, but seeing how we set up here, it looks like a back three with Ayling, Ben White at the heart of that, Berardi to the left, wing backs to Alioski, Stuart Dallas, so that's how we've set up.
Hernandez for Leeds through the middle, plays the ball out wide to the right hand side, and Helder Costa on the score sheet last weekend. Helder Costa holds the ball up just outside the Huddersfield penalty area. Then he gets the ball back off Stuart Dallas. Costa running at the box now, then lays the ball back into the path of Pablo Hernandez. Hernandez to the edge of the area, and Dallas tries to play in Matthias Klick, but the ball, not the best ball for Klick, and he doesn't quite manage to control, and Leeds defend in their own half with a header from Ben White. It's one on the far side for Huddersfield to start a build-up maybe for an attack with Hogg. Back to Haderjanai, the left back. One of those fairly complicated names that suggest that you hope he doesn't get too much of the ball this afternoon.
It's almost like a name from Countdown.
There's a lot of J's in there. He's the Kosovan international, played in the Premier League for Huddersfield last season. So there's a number of these Huddersfield players who have Premier League experience, even if for some of them it wasn't a great Premier League experience. They've still played at the big grounds and they've played in the big games, and that's as much as they struggled last season.
Good point, Bryn, because you mentioned they've had a lot of injuries, but it's a very strong starting 11 for Huddersfield. And you're right, a lot of these players play Premier League experience, so it just shows the task we've got on. That's why people come in today thinking, oh, it should be a Leeds win, look at the table. But no, it doesn't work like that. You've got to go out and earn the right.
Rarely does it work like that in this division. It's the most unpredictable of all, you would say. Well, it went to form last weekend. Leeds United will be hoping something similar happens here, particularly after Huddersfield suffered a heavy defeat at Bristol City last week. They were 4 down in no time, as Bamford is onside and charging down the inside left channel for Leeds United, up towards the edge of the penalty area now. Harrison goes on the overlap and gets the ball. He's in the penalty area and he cuts it back to the penalty spot, and it almost breaks to click in space, and it just rolls away from the Polish international, and ultimately Huddersfield end up with a throw-in on the far side of the park, midway inside their own half. That was a glimpse of an opportunity. It was great counter-attack, initially from Alioski. Great ball into the channel. Bamford's bent his run to keep onside. Then Harrison's made a great overlapping run. He's done everything right, cutting the ball back. It's just one of those as a player, you're trying to run onto it, and he's just getting away from you as the ball. But that's a great counter-attack. So Haderjanai takes the throw-in on the far side, down the line. Stuart Dallas comes in to tidy up for Leeds United. Leeds' voice is being heard above the home hubbub here in the opening stages of this game. Alioski down the left side touchline. Pablo Hernandez has to loop a ball back into, well, attempted to get the ball back to Harrison on the halfway line. Alioski goes down under a challenge on this near side. Final touch comes off Huddersfield's number 9, Kachunga. Another of those who played at Premier League level, and also one of those who played when the two teams last met. Schindler, Hogg and Kachunga were all involved in that game, that last-minute win for Huddersfield, as Bamford chases a long through ball, somewhat hopefully, but just for a moment there, looked like he might get away from Stankovic. Stankovic recovered and got the ball back to the goalkeeper, Grabara. And Huddersfield attacking now on the left-hand side. Ball almost through the middle now as Kachunga makes a forward run, but it's dropped short instead to Bakuna. And Bakuna is held up by Click. Now Bakuna forward gets the ball, return pass, and Bakuna has support from the left full-back on the far side, and the cross can come in from that position now. But an easy catch from Kiko Casilla. Well placed on the edge of the 6-yard box, and the ball almost really right into his hands. Leeds waste no time in getting the ball clear. Pressure on Berardi from Kachunga, now Harrison. And he loses possession on this near side. And the man who takes it off him is Kachunga, who goes to the byline, and Huddersfield as a result will get another corner kick. Harrison looks to the heavens for a moment there. It was he who was caught in possession. Leeds have more defending to do, and the man who comes across to take the corner kick on the near side, Carlin Grant, just urges the home supporters to make more noise. Really good crowd here at the John Smith Stadium. Huddersfield kicking towards where the large bank of Leeds United fans watch the game. Ball into the box now, it's over Casilla, where he just gets fingertips to it. It's an important touch from the Leeds keeper as Huddersfield pick up on the far side of the penalty area. Hogg has it from some range, so doesn't shoot. Instead they switch play from left to right, and now the run is made down the right hand side by Karoma. Karoma can't get beyond Hernandez, and the final touch is off Karoma. And much to the unhappiness of the home support, Leeds United get the throw-in. Great defending was that. Kiko's done really well just to get a little touch, flick it out towards that far touchline. But then the pressure we put on, looked like Hogg were going to get a shot away. Berardi flew out, just kept him moving sideways. Berardi, oh, that's a poor clearance from Berardi, and it's charged down, and they're lucky that Luke Ayling's in exactly the right position, a recovery position if you like, to get on the ball there and get it out to the penalty area. For just 1 second there, Leeds almost presented Huddersfield with a really good opportunity. Just need to be careful getting caught in between, playing out too much, and just playing in the right areas, because I can say Huddersfield are pumped for it. You fully expect them to be like that. So especially in our defensive third, if they're putting the press on, might not be on to pass it around the back three like we normally do. Just might have to go a little bit longer. Similar pass what Alioski just played down the channel for Bamford to get him behind. Leeds come with Hernandez switching play from right to left. Alioski 10-15 yards inside the Huddersfield half. Now Harrison, and Harrison will have a bit of a run towards the penalty area maybe. Gets a return pass, which is an extravagant ball off Click. Hernandez slides in and does well, really well for Leeds to get the thing going again as Alioski is forced out to the near side, but he's found Click in some space. Click nearly on the byline now, gets the ball into the box and it almost breaks for Hernandez. Almost identical to that previous ball across the penalty area. Just nicked away before Pablo Hernandez was able to unleash a shot there, but Leeds have a throw in and can start again. They're deep inside Huddersfield territory. Hernandez through the middle, has support to the right hand side from Stuart Dallas, and Dallas has time to line up a cross. He goes with a low ball in and header clear, and then Ayling wins it back just about for Leeds, and Ben White tidies up. Well, Ben White actually knocks the ball into touch for a Huddersfield throw in. So again, good movement by Leeds down the left hand side, almost produces something.
Every time we've been getting into the final third, we look real dangerous, don't we? We look sharp, we look confident, and great little pullback from Click. It's almost like we've kind of been working on that. See, like I said, Bryn, the second time we've done that little cutback cross. Like I say, maybe something work on getting a late third man run from midfield, coming onto the edge of the box. Maybe a weakness for Huddersfield, not tracking back. But now every time we've been in that final third, saying look confident, the movement's sharp.
Huddersfield playing with three across the back, and Leeds may be seeing space there to be exploited. They're quite well spread out, the three. Hernandez, can he do that now? The man with the magical array of passing. Alioski has possession, Bamford on the halfway line, Harrison now on the ball. Now Hernandez, that is it's almost a really good ball from Pablo Hernandez. It just hits Patrick Bamford in the square of the back, and as a result Leeds have to defend with Ben White across quickly ahead of the oncoming Paruma, and it's a throw in on this near side which is taken quickly for Huddersfield. Harrison wins it back for Leeds. Little triangular movement between Alioski, Berardi and Harrison. Leeds get the ball up to the centre circle. Bamford goes down with a hand in the back.
It's a foul, surely.
And he's given a free kick to Huddersfield. Well, that is a surprise. Patrick Bamford's the man chasing the ball. Christopher Schindler is the man right behind him, following him towards the ball. Schindler appeared to put a hand in the back of Patrick Bamford, who fell. I can only imagine, is that given for simulation?
He's giving it for handball.
All right, because he fell over and grabbed it.
Picked it up, yeah.
As Leeds have to defend, and Casillo, well, now he's punched that one not entirely convincingly, and then Luke Ayling, calm as you like under pressure, chests the ball into the hands of the Leeds United goalkeeper. Now Casillo gives the calm down gesture with his left hand, but just for a moment there it was a somewhat scruffy punch from the Leeds keeper, but Ayling dealt with it. That's not great from Leeds as they try and get the ball down the near side touchline. Alioski misplaces the pass to Harrison. Huddersfield get the throw in. It will be taken by Dehaney down the near side, and then it goes back towards the halfway line and then flicked further forward. Just about stays in play on the near side. Well, it doesn't stay in play actually. Ben White waited and watched, and Leeds get the throw in. Ben White, I would say, is playing in a more traditional central defensive role just at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. That's where he's been set up.
And then now there's another chest back to the goalkeeper on the far side. Often you don't see one of those in a game. We've seen two in the last 60 seconds.
Been in the gym with the boys.
Yeah, it's all upper body work. Hernandez carrying the ball from one side of the pitch to the other. Now Alioski near side to Harrison, a little further down the near side touch line. Hernandez gets it back and goes back to Berardi under a bit of pressure. And Ben White has more time to play the ball wide to Luke Ayling. And then Ayling's pass is not the best for Hernandez, but he reacts well enough to slide in ahead of the Huddersfield player and just loops a pass back, or a long way back actually, to Kiko Casillo. So Leeds can begin again. And it's played for by Click to Hernandez. Hernandez really getting on the ball, and that's a great pass out to Harrison. Oh. And he's just apparently offside, Jack Harrison. From where we are, he wasn't, but we probably don't have as good a view of this one as the assistant on the far side of the pitch.
It must have been so tight, but the rotation with Click and Pablo has been excellent. Just been watching for the last minute or so, working so hard just to get that bit of space on the ball, and Pablo's playing a little bit deeper than we've been kind of used to him. Kind of been playing usually that number 10 position, or predominantly out on the right hand side, but it's almost like two old-fashioned centre midfielders in there.
Ben White battles away and wins the header for Leeds United defensively. and then on the edge of the centre circle, Hogg picks it up for Huddersfield. Very experienced player, but the pressure on the man in possession. Sees the ball go all the way back to Grabara, the goalkeeper, and then his long-footed, right-footed clearance up towards the halfway line goes out of play on the far side on the halfway line for a Leeds United throw-in. We've clicked up to 13 minutes here in the first period. Matchday Live on LUTV, brought to you by Deliveroo Food Freedom. Leeds attacking through Stuart Dallas, right on the far touch line. Then ball back to Hernandez, then infield to Helder Costa. There's a little bit of space maybe. Now he gives it to Click on the left foot. Thought about a shot, thought again. Alioski, edge of the penalty area, plays the ball into the danger zone. Schindler's there to head clear for Huddersfield, but it breaks again for Click. Leeds start from the halfway line with Ben White. Good period of possession for the away team here. Matthias Click with his wonderful goal last weekend. He'd love to add to that. That's a super ball as well, out to Hernandez far side. And now Costa, can he keep the ball in play? Well, the linesman has slipped on the far side, so he didn't give anything, and Costa actually does come away with the ball ultimately. Runs at the penalty area, still going, and he will win the first corner kick of the game for Leeds United. So good work by Helder Costa there. Didn't give up on that one and managed to earn Leeds their first corner. The ref's assistant far side brushes dust from the shorts after he fell over by the corner flag. No foul. An element actually of simulation about that one, I've got to say. But Leeds United had the corner. Now interesting to see, no Calvin Phillips, who's such a regular fixture in the starting 11, that we have to look at who takes the corner kicks, and it's the man who took them prior really to Calvin Phillips, isn't it? Pablo Hernandez, who will step over and take on those duties just for the moment. So Hernandez, it's a low ball into Click, who's got space and turns a shot, and the keeper got a touch to that. Well, in fact, it hit the foot of the post because it's gone behind, and goal kick is signalled, and that's as close as you can come without scoring.
Fantastic worked corner kick that. Just created a little block. Click's pulled out into kind of around the penalty spot area. It's done everything right. Great technique. It's beaten the keeper. It's smashed against the post, gone behind for a goal kick. But fantastic corner routine was that.
That's another one of those that we saw in the game against Middlesbrough last weekend. The variety of corner kicks was good to see, to be honest, and certainly brought about more opportunities for Leeds United, as we saw from the very fact that they scored a goal, and Click was the man on target on that occasion as well, obviously. Ball out over this near side touch line. It's going to be a Huddersfield throw in, so that's the first moment of danger we've had at either end in these opening 15 minutes here at the John Smith Stadium. Ball thrown down the line, near side, man in possession is Mounier. Mounier with a second touch knocks the ball into touch. Leeds United have the throw in. Alioski short and quick back to Berardi, and Berardi further back to Kiko Casilla, who has Luke Ayling in a waiting position on the right hand side of the penalty area. He gets the ball now, he's got to go longer, he's under some pressure in there, so it's onto the head of Pablo Hernandez, who directs the ball out to the far side, and Helder Costa. And Leeds have another throw in on the halfway line. Stuart Dallas infield to Hernandez, who's a bit short to make that sort of ball as it bounced up there, and Huddersfield try and come themselves, having won the ball back. Click battling away for Leeds in the centre circle. Huddersfield come away with the ball. Bakuna in possession now, skips past the challenger Ben White, still going up towards the edge of the box, sliding challenges in on the edge of the box, and then there's a free kick awarded to Leeds for a foul on Alioski. And the home fans aren't happy, but Leeds have weathered that particular little storm and will have a chance to get the ball away with a set piece.
Talk about throwing your bodies on the line. As soon as Ben White just got turned there, just rushed out a little bit too quick. He'll know himself. Just don't they? He got Bakuna where he wanted him. But Ayling, Alioski, just throwing the bodies on the line. It was actually Berardi who got the final block. Winning the free kick was Alioski. But great defending.
So we've seen openings at either end. Leeds with a better chance, but Huddersfield just reminding us that they potentially are a force to be reckoned with here this afternoon. And Huddersfield are pushing forward again against Leeds United now. They have a throw in on this near side. Dehaney again will take it for them from the advanced position midway inside the Leeds half. Ben White in possession now for Leeds. He's just happy to loft the ball up towards the halfway line. Schindler with a stooping header ahead of Patrick Bamford. The two Cowley brothers race to the edge of the technical box and say that there was a little push from Bamford on Schindler's. He attempted to make the header there. I wouldn't argue with them. The referee saw nothing untoward with that. And Huddersfield have possession anyway down the near side. Dehaney on the ball now, trying to make progress towards the edge of the Leeds penalty area, still with the ball at his feet. Plays it square straight to Pablo Hernandez, and then White gives the possession away. That's uncharacteristic. Now Hogg up towards the edge of the box and Grant, but Click is in there for Leeds. Hernandez needs to do better with this ball clear. Gives it back to Kiko Casilla. Leeds under a little bit of pressure. Casilla with a longer ball, and that was a fairly obvious push from Click on the back of Hogg, and the free kick is awarded in the favour of the home team here. So a little period of pressure now for Leeds to cope with, as Huddersfield throw extra bodies forward, and Leeds have to drop extra bodies back to defend this free kick from maybe 10 yards outside the centre circle, pretty much central. Bakuna over the ball, and everybody bar Huddersfield keeper Grabara either level with him or ahead of him when he looks at the game. Leeds line up on the edge of the penalty area. Right foot ball curled in towards the penalty spot. Now heads up, Casilla tips the ball over the crossbar, and Kiko Casilla has done really well for Leeds United there. I'm not even sure if that wasn't a Berardi header. That may have been his own player as the header came in, but it was an inviting free kick, and I think the final touch might have been off Berardi. The outcome, because of the touch away, is another Huddersfield Town corner kick. So Leeds relieved that their keeper kept them at level there. Corner kick comes in now towards the far side of the penalty box. Bodies falling over as the ball travels into the penalty area. Nothing given either way by the match ref other than a throw-in favour of Leeds, as the ball actually carries from the corner position on one side of the pitch over the touchline on the far side without anybody touching it in between.
Going back to Kiko's save, fantastic tip over the bar. Just the positioning is that. Obviously he's a big lad, good stretch on him, but it's all about positioning, because you're right. I think kind of two-header. I think Berardi's headed against the Huddersfield guy, and it's all about reactions then.
I suppose you would say with Liam Cooper out, again Leeds just a little lacking in terms of height. Set pieces might cause problems, so they'll have to learn to deal with that potentially, as Huddersfield got a lot of big lads in the side. They're attacking now down the left side, and they'll get another chance with another corner kick here. The home fans beginning to find their voices as Huddersfield pushing Leeds back in the mid stages of this first period. Patrick Bamford has to jog back to take up a defensive position for the visitors, and Huddersfield ready to get the ball back into that Leeds penalty area. Not in an enormous hurry, it would appear, to take the corner kick. The man who's jogging across to take it for them now is the leading goal scorer, Grant. So rather than him pop up in the penalty area to be on the end of one of these, he's the man who goes out to deliver one of these. Gives the signal now, and there's a real queue of players on the edge of the penalty area. There's a lot of jostling going on inside the penalty area, and as a result the referee steps in to have a word with a couple of players in there. Alioski having a bit of a lecture from the referee, as is Kachunga. So it's those two who were involved in a little spat as they waited for the ball to come across there. The two still standing very close to each other, still continuing to chase each other around the penalty area. Alioski trying to keep an eye on Kachunga, who's trying to make life as awkward as possible for Kiko Casilla as the ball's curled in now. Heads up, and the header is a clean header, but it's not a powerful header, and it drops straight into the hands of Kiko Casilla. And two Huddersfield players in the process there have collided, and both have suffered head injuries, and the ball is as a result immediately cleared into touch so that treatment can be administered. So the one of the two players is up on his feet now, and the other player looks a little less happy. I think Kachunga's up on his feet, but his teammate, who we can't see because the view of that is obscured by one of the physio team from Huddersfield. As the ball came in, the two players arrived at exactly the same moment, and it was a jaw to top of the head collision, I think. The header, when it came in from a good position, was straight into the hands of Kiko Casilla. And there's a potential for a change here, I suspect, for Huddersfield, as we get a close-up of the man who's back on his feet now. Both the Huddersfield players back on their feet now, and still treatment being administered. On the near side, players come towards the touchline to take on liquid refreshment, and the second player was Mounier, and Mounier walks away a little ruefully, but obviously both he and Kachunga are going to continue, and the guys with the stretcher on the near side are sent back to their position in between the dugouts. Not required, I'm pleased to say, on this occasion. And the game resumes with Leeds United given the ball back, and Kiko Casilla has it at his feet on the edge of the penalty area, picks the ball up now and bowls it out over arm to Gaetano Berardi on this near side. Infield behind Patrick Bamford though. Huddersfield enjoying the better of this game in the last 5 or so minutes, and there's a ball over the top for Leeds to defend now. White reads it well, but Berardi slips in trying to pick up possession again for Leeds, so Leeds have to defend once more. Berardi comes in, that's a foul challenge, and that will be a free kick for Huddersfield as Berardi lunged in on Grant there, and again Leeds having to defend a set piece. So Huddersfield are asking questions of Leeds United just at the moment.
Yeah, it's been a bit sloppy in his kind of play coming out from the back, just giving the ball away uncharacteristic, just like silly little passes where we don't really need to kind of do in those areas. It's just inviting a bit more pressure, the crowd are building into it.
As the free kick swung in by Grant now, easy header clear by Patrick Bamford from the edge of the penalty area. The ball is right back in the centre circle with Haderjanai, and he plays it up, looping forward towards the edge of the Leeds box, and it looked like a foul on Ayling as he went for a header there, nothing given by the referee. And then Jack Harrison with a defensive header into no man's land pretty much. Again, the ball just bobbling around. Now it's up on the edge of the Leeds penalty area, but Leeds get it clear to Hernandez. They need to just hold possession here. Now Hernandez falls to the ground, but in doing so lays off a good ball. Now Costa going down the right-hand side. This is better for Leeds. Costa has players in support. One of those is Click square then to Pablo Hernandez. Hernandez looking for support himself. Goes up to Dallas, who'd made a run off the defender in the left-back position, but the ball is too far ahead of Stuart Dallas, and Grabara gets his hands on that one and has his first touch in quite a while.
He'll be disappointed with himself there, Pablo, because for a man with his ability, it's a relatively easy pass, and it was on. Sure, Dal's come from that full-back, wing-back position, darting in behind the opposite full-back. Like I say, with Pablo's quality, he'd love to have that pass again. 9 times out of 10, he usually finds the man.
Click in the centre circle for Leeds, delivers a good ball wide to Helder Costa, so Leeds coming again now. Costa takes on the last defender up into the penalty area, plays the ball across the box, and the heads were in there from both Bamford and Harrison, and the cross was just a little too powerful, and it carried on beyond both of those Leeds United players, but that was an inviting ball, and Costa did well down that right hand side.
Almost a similar cross the one he put in against Reading when we got that late winner down there. But I love that from Costa. Gets the ball on the half turn, straight running at the fullback. That's when he's at his best.
Clicks header on to Patrick Bamford. Ball bounces on the edge of the Huddersfield penalty area from where it's cleared towards the halfway line, not quite that far. Now Huddersfield run it back towards their own box with Mounier forced to give the ball back to his goalkeeper, Grabara with a long clearance up into the Leeds half. Ayling is underneath it. He controls rather than head the ball. He gets it back off White. Not sure he wanted it in that position. He was under pressure. Huddersfield have the ball back as a result. It goes back into their own half. Schindler's under pressure from Bamford. Bamford's done well there. He's forced Schindler to go back to the goalkeeper. And Grabara, the man on loan from Liverpool, delivers another long ball. Again, Ayling reads it and gets there first. That's a good ball from Luke Ayling to Pablo Hernandez, who has a bit of space to work in, but the ball is not into the path of Patrick Bamford. It comes back for Hernandez to try again. He gives it to Berardi this time, and Berardi gives it up to Click, and Click has shown too much of that to Schindler. And then Leeds win it back for a second through Alioski. Almost breaks into the path of Jack Harrison. Harrison putting pressure on Bacuna. Bacuna gives the ball away just outside the penalty area. Patrick Bamford in the penalty area. Oh, he tries to curl the shot, but he gets it wrong there, quite badly wrong, and ultimately it goes really wide from Patrick Bamford.
Great pressure from Jack Harrison on Bacuna. Didn't let him get out easy. Almost kind of like set a trap. It was almost like, go on then, can go inside, try and play out if you can. Won it back. Click a nice little flick to Bamford. You could see what he was trying to do. We were sat directly behind Patrick Bamford as we were trying to shape to go to the far corner. Just got a bit too wrong. But no, good pressure though.
Elias Kachunga has come to the near side touchline to have a chat with Danny Cowley. Wonder whether he's still feeling the after effects of that knock on the head a little. They haven't really got anything to replace attacking players with him. A very inexperienced bench of Huddersfield for this game this afternoon. So the 11 starting are very much the strongest available. As the ball goes back to Grabara again for Huddersfield, and again the keeper puts real air underneath the ball. Ayling beaten to it on the halfway line, but Berardi tidies up with a long ball forward from behind him. Now Costa, can he get the bouncing ball? It's awkward for the Leeds player, but he might just get there ahead of Hogg. He doesn't quite. Hogg gets then the ball to Bakuna, and then out to the left-hand side, and Hada Dejonai, who will charge forward for Huddersfield Town. He plays the ball infield to Mounier, but Mounier got the pass completely wrong there, and his manager will be furious about that, because it was a flick he tried when a simple ball was on, and as a result, A, Huddersfield lost attacking momentum, and B, lost possession of the ball. Leeds have it back with Ayling in a defensive position now. Rolls it forward to Click. 28 minutes of this game gone. Huddersfield Town 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds attacking with Patrick Bamford. He needs a bit of help though. He's almost on his own. Now Dallas comes in to provide that support. Now Harrison on the edge of the penalty area. Harrison teeing it up for Pablo Hernandez just outside the D. Pablo Hernandez with the ball into the box, and it almost breaks for Patrick Bamford via a defensive intervention. And Leeds had two men arriving at the far post, and the flick off the final defender means Leeds United have a corner kick.
I think it's Stankovic. He just got, looks like he studs. He just brushes the ball, just keeps it away from Bamford. Again, great little build-up play on the right-hand side, cutting back into central areas. Again, Pablo just trying that little dink of a pass. So close.
So Leeds United with Pablo Hernandez over the ball on the far side. Second corner kick of the game. Click in space on the edge of the area. This time a more conventional corner kick into the crowded penalty box. It comes for Click anyway with a half volley, and that might take a deflection and go behind. Indeed it does. So Leeds keep the pressure on with another set piece opportunity here. Pablo Hernandez jogs across from one side of the pitch to the other to come over and take this latest corner kick for the away team. Leeds have got plenty up for it. The only man back in the centre circle for them is Stuart Dallas. Beyond him, all in orange this afternoon, is Kiko Casilla. It's taken short, and the space for Hernandez to deliver the ball into the penalty area, and again a well-worked corner kick, just dropping it short to Click. And now the ball up towards the edge of the penalty area, but I think Bakuna will get there ahead of Harrison. He does, and then turn around towards his own goal by Karoma puts Huddersfield under pressure again, unnecessarily you might say, but he recovers well, Karoma. Leeds have to get the ball back. Well, they won't get the ball back on the halfway line with Alioski, because Ben White adjudged to have committed a foul in trying to win the ball back for Leeds there, and it will be a free kick to the home team just about midway inside their own half.
I don't think it was a free kick. He's done well, Ben White, just trying to get his foot in front of, I think it was Mounier, but again Harrison putting the pressure on. And I like the routines will be coming up from these set pieces. Each one's been different, innovative, and I think you mentioned no Liam Cooper, so naturally not as the bigger side, because due to how he attacks the ball, it's so good, especially defensively. But if you're not going to have the biggest lineup, come with something different.
Hernandez tries to work the ball out for Leeds United. They get the break anyway to the right hand side and held Costa, so they can throw players forward now as Costa moves forward at some pace for Leeds, trying to find a bit of room to work in. Hernandez, well, he just launches the ball up into the air in the penalty area, and then there's a foul I think by Alioski just on the edge of the penalty box as the ball was dropping from a great height there, and it's Schindler who's down, and he's got his hand to his head there, Christopher Schindler. And the German central defender looks in some discomfort. So we're going to have some added time at the end of this first period, which is looming into view now as we've moved past the half-hour mark here at the John Smith Stadium. Huddersfield Town 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds have had one excellent opportunity. Click hit the post at the other end. Kiko Casilla made an excellent save, and Schindler requiring further treatment here. It was Alioski who stepped across him. I'm not entirely sure what sort of contact that was, but it's definitely caused real discomfort for Christopher Schindler, and there's a discussion going on down below us in the Huddersfield Town dugout as to whether there might be changes required here. For the second occasion in the last few minutes, we've got a player who appears to have had a whack in the head, and Huddersfield may be having to contemplate once more making a switch. Their bench: Coleman, Edmonds, Green, Harrott, Daly, High, Osterfield and Jackson. They're not household names. They're all players who've coming through the system here at Huddersfield pretty much. And maybe one of those is going to get a debut this afternoon. We shall see, because still the treatment is being administered. Still there are concerned looks on the faces of the Huddersfield Town coaching staff. And still the possibility that Huddersfield may have to make a change here as the players await the resumption of the game. Referee standing over the ball at the moment, Gavin Ward. He's just checking on the situation as well. One of those where nobody will want to hurry this one, because it does appear to involve a head injury. Christopher Schindler is now sitting up, so better signs as the physio staff communicate. Actually, I think it's the shoulder, isn't it? By the way he's clutching his arm. We can see now a close-up on the monitor screens. And we see that it's a collision between Alioski and Schindler. Didn't look, to be honest, as if there was anything too much in that. But it's caused Christopher Schindler real discomfort, that. And it does look like maybe he's popped a shoulder.
The way he's holding his kind of like wrist, his arms kind of dangling. You see a lot at this stadium with the rugby league team, where they get the shoulders popped out, and the way he's holding it looks that way. But you're right, it was something out of nothing, to be honest. Just kind of brushed him, did Alioski. But sometimes as a player, when you're kind of relaxed, you don't kind of expect it. That's when things like this can happen. But no, it'll be a big loss for Huddersfield with the captain going off. And you mentioned about the bench, how young they are. You can see he's still holding his shoulder.
Well, it doesn't look good for the Huddersfield skipper here, does it really? But he will know that the pressure is very much on to try and stay on the pitch, because there are some highly inexperienced players awaiting the call if the call comes. So Schindler, well, he looks like he's going to give it a go at the moment. He's still holding the back of his neck as well as holding his arm in a fairly awkward manner, still having a long conversation with the coaching staff. So he definitely took a whack there, the Huddersfield skipper. He's awaiting the signal to come back on. He gets the signal to come back on, and all of a sudden he's completely mobile and moves back into a central defensive position. So Huddersfield have their full quota of players back available. Hernandez in possession for Leeds as they resume with the ball. Great ball out to Costa, dropped right in his feet there, right in his path there. Helder Costa on the far side of the penalty area. Now Stuart Dallas plays a square ball to Hernandez. First time over the top. A linesman's flag will go up there against Click. Could see that one. Matches Click had just stayed a little too far forward as the ball came over the top to him. He was relying on Huddersfield defenders having fallen asleep somewhat there. They hadn't. They were alive to it. They'd stepped up, and he was offside. Yeah,
initially he ran in there trying to get the ball from Dallas. He was trying to get back onside, but the ball came straight back from Pablo. But with Schindler there, he's still kind of holding his arm, his neck. If I were Bamford, I'd just play on him for the next 5-10 minutes. Try and rough him up a little bit.
Well, that's a bit unfair, isn't it?
Nah, not one bit.
Grabara back in possession for Huddersfield Town. 36 minutes gone here. Still 0-0. And it's a tight game. We've seen both sides have a couple of moments, no more than that, in each other's penalty areas. Leeds have probably just shaded it in terms of chance creation, but not by much. And they've conceded a lot of free kicks, and they've conceded another one there on the edge of the centre circle. And Flick is going to be spoken to by Gavin Ward. And play again is delayed with Bakuna down this time for Huddersfield. He's clutching his ankle. Again, looks like he's in some discomfort. And again, the physio staff have to come onto the field of play. And more seconds, maybe minutes, are added to the total that we'll have at the end of this first period when the board goes up. Patrick Bamford having a long conversation with the fourth official on this near side. And now the Cowleys join in as well. And again, the players getting used to having these breaks in play here, as this is the third in maybe the last 10 minutes or so. Fairly lengthy stoppage to the action.
Been no real rhythm, has there? Just stop-start, playing into Huddersfield Dan's all these little breaks in play, slow the game down. I think you asked the Cowleys what would have been a perfect half for them. Something similar like this, where, yeah, it's 0-0, the level, stop-start, bit niggly. But anytime we've tried to play football in the final third, we have looked dangerous, just haven't done it enough. Mentioned passes going astray a little bit. It's just like I say, just been a scrappy half.
And Leeds United are used to enjoying large swathes of possession, particularly in the first half of matches. They've had fewer corner kicks than we've become used to seeing of them. They've had less of the ball than we've become used to seeing, in particular in away games where they build that platform 10-15 minutes in and then start to just begin to squeeze the opposition. It's not happened in this game, maybe as a result of some of these breaks in play like we've still got at the moment, with Bakuna sitting on the edge of the centre circle. Again, you would say at this stage, not looking in the best position to carry on with the game here. And Huddersfield do have a couple of players warming up on the near side touchline should finally one of their number succumb to injury. But again, they're all aware of how threadbare the squad is beyond the starting 11, I suspect. I'm sure there are talented players waiting to come on and make a replacement. I think there's a thumbs up from the physio there, so Bakuna looks set to continue for the time being at least. And he's back on his feet and just holding his left leg. And the referee goes for a word to make sure that he goes to the near side touchline to go off before he can come on again. Not moving easily at the moment at all, Josh Bakuna, Juninho Bakuna, brother of Leandro Bakuna, also a professional, and he's coming towards this near side touchline. He's not moving easily at the moment, it has to be said, but maybe they'll take a view with 5 minutes to go, plus added till the end of the first half, as to whether they can get him in at half time and administer further treatment just to make sure that he gets through the second half. So Bakuna is set to come back on when play resumes, with Grabara taking the free kick. Long ball. Casillas hesitated and he's caught on the edge of the penalty area, and the shot is driven in, and Leeds have bodies back, and one of those bodies belongs to Luke Ayling, and Luke Ayling is between the man shooting and the goal, and he gets his head to the ball and he diverts it up over the crossbar, and that was a worrying moment for Leeds.
Initially I thought the ball was going to fly through to Kiko. It is a windy day, whether the ball got caught up in the wind and you're just stretching for the last second. But I love the reaction though. Yeah, the keeper's out of the goal, but the amount of bodies that got back on the goal line in the way of the ball, just sensing the danger.
So Grant will take another corner kick for Huddersfield Town. Swings the ball in near post, heads go up there. Will it carry behind? Yes, it will, for yet another Huddersfield corner. So pressure shifts back to the Leeds United penalty area again. Grant has jogged across from one side to the other to provide another set-piece delivery for the home team. And Leeds United line up inside the penalty area, waiting to try and get this ball away. Hernandez actually has gone short to stand as close as he's allowed to the corner kicker. It goes way beyond him into the near post. Bamford's there. Good header, defensive header from Patrick Bamford from the edge of the 6-yard box. Reads it well and just gets it over the near side touchline for a throw in.
Does that job really well defensively. Just shaking his head there, Bamford. Just caught probably the ball wrong part of his head. Always sting to those ones. But it's an important role, that front post zone, clear the danger.
Ball down the touchline as Dehaney makes good progress down the touchline before delivering the throw in. Berardi over his own shoulder to clear, and then Click, similar type of ball to get the ball onto Bamford. Still in the Leeds half, trying to get progress up towards halfway, and that will be a free kick by Patrick Bamford. Held the ball up in the midst of 3 Huddersfield players who were challenging him there. Went to ground under the push from Schindler. This time Leeds do get a free kick. Bamford gets the free kick, and the Leeds striker did a good job for the team there.
No better striker in my opinion in this division. Doing that, holding the ball up, just a good platform, going nowhere. Amount of times you'll see games this afternoon where strikers get the ball, lose it, and then automatically on the back foot, but bought a free kick for the team, settled down, danger gone.
Oh, we predicted a real scrap, we predicted a real battle, and that's exactly what we've had so far. It's not been particularly pleasing on the eye, but then we suspected it was never going to be. Alioski playing a long ball forward for Leeds, and that in itself maybe tells you a bit of the story of the game. Leeds lose possession. Huddersfield have it back with Hogg just outside the centre circle in his own half. Goes back to Stankovic, and Stankovic with the ball in his left foot plays the ball over the top, or tries to play the ball over the top. Dallas reads it. White comes in to help out. Dallas then back to Kiko Casilla. Kiko Casilla, right foot, just loops the ball up in the air, and it goes out over the far side touchline, as you might be able to tell from the home fans' reaction, for a Huddersfield throw in midway inside the Leeds half. 42 minutes gone in this first period, still 0-0. Matchday Live on LUTV, brought to you by Deliveroo Food Freedom. Huddersfield with the throw-in for Huddersfield on the far side, up towards the edge of the box. And Mounier turns away from Ayling and gets the ball out wide for a chance of a cross maybe, as it comes back to Huddersfield, and he delivers the ball low into the penalty area. Ben White's read it all the way and gets a long ball forward, looking for Bamford maybe. Bamford can't get there above Stankovic, and Grabara, the Huddersfield keeper, comes out of his penalty area and just with the ball at his feet rolls it into the path then of Christopher Schindler. Schindler right foot up into the Leeds half. Ayling battling away in there successfully for Leeds, is it? But yes, it is. It's a free kick to Leeds United. Not quite sure how that comes about, to be honest with you. Ayling and Mounier in challenge there, both went to ground, but the foul touch was adjudged to be by the Huddersfield man. So Leeds have a chance with a free kick just outside the centre circle. Played short to Berardi, near side to Alioski. Alioski on the left foot rolls the ball down the touchline and then goes back into his own half to Berardi, who goes square then to Ben White. And Ben White will go further across the park to the figure of Luke Ayling on the right hand side. Ayling into the middle to Click. First time ball over the top from Click, looking for Hernandez, but cut out by Stankovic. Header then from Mounier on the far side. Helder Costa comes in for Leeds. Back to Luke Ayling. Really scrappy stuff at the moment. Poor ball from Ayling, and he's given his side a bit of defending to do as a result of that. Attempted crossfield ball picked up by Kachunga out to the left hand side. Challenge comes in from Stuart Dallas defensively. Excellent challenge, but it comes back for Hogg, and then Huddersfield on the left hand touchline, who will attempt to get the ball. Does get the ball into the penalty area. White with a great downward header. Not only was it a good defensive clearing header, it was a good defensive header to keep possession, because they diverted it really well into the path of a teammate. Hernandez though has overrun it, and Leeds are under pressure again. They've caused the problems themselves there, and White again has to step in to tidy up at the back for Leeds United. Pablo Hernandez then really ran that ball into trouble, and that's been a failure. And Leeds have done it again with an under-hit pass on the far side from Click, and Click commits the foul to try and get himself back in good books for Leeds there. And so Leeds have more defending to do, and they're causing their own problems.
Especially this type of game where you know it's going to be hectic, it's going to be frantic, players going to be on top of you. You have to do those needless passes in there. You think they'd be able to figure it out now, approaching half time. Just go a little bit longer. And you're right about added time, 5 minutes has just gone up.
And there's a yellow card shown for Click belatedly after that challenge, and the 5 minutes to be added on will be a time in which Leeds have got to keep the focus, keep the concentration, and at least keep the scoreline as it is currently. It's at 0-0, and Huddersfield have a chance to get the ball into the Leeds penalty area again as the result of this set piece. It's to the left of centre. It's some way outside the box, probably too far for a shot, and it looks like an in-swinging ball from Grant again for Leeds to defend. Kiko Casilla is on his right-hand post as Grant spots it up now. Referee again looking down the line to make sure that Leeds United's players, the two-man wall, are the requisite distance away from the ball. And then he takes a glance inside the penalty area, and then he's ready to give the signal now. Gavin Ward, and again there's a delay, and again that's because he wants to make sure everybody's in the right place in the penalty area. And now the ball comes in from Grant towards the penalty spot, and the bodies are in there, and it was the central defensive figure of Stankovic arriving at the far post, but it was well read defensively, and the ball goes behind for a goal kick.
Great defending by Luke Ayling. Didn't switch off for a second. I was watching him line up before the free kick. He's pointing at the linesman to watch for the offside, organising where they want the line not to be too deep, but then concentrating on his own game.
A few people heading for a half-time refreshment here on this Saturday lunchtime, as another free kick is conceded by Leeds. This time it's Patrick Bamford with a push in the back again. It's that combination, Bamford and Schindler. It's give and take in there at the moment in terms of the free kick awards. And so the play stops again, and Schindler goes down again, and maybe that's just a little bit of what you suggested, Ben, in terms of making the challenge. Just seeing whether there is an ongoing issue for Christopher Schindler, who doesn't look at all happy. He's holding the other shoulder this time. So he's taken a bit of a battering from Patrick Bamford as the free kick is played up towards the edge of the penalty area. Casilla comes and he does the right thing. He catches the ball and they delivers quickly. Well, we've seen Leeds create chances in added time in the first half in other games. Can they do the same in this one as well? It did it in the last game against Middlesbrough, the key second goal. At the moment, it will be a key first goal for whichever side gets it. Costa now up to the edge of the penalty area, comes for Hernandez and it just runs away from Pablo Hernandez, and Leeds, from being on the attack, now have to think about quickly defending as the ball is carried forward deep into their half, and Dallas comes across, and that may be a yellow card for Stuart Dallas there, and it is a yellow card for Stuart Dallas there, and Huddersfield have a free kick, but I think Dallas felt there was nothing else he could do, and I think he just had a little word maybe with Pablo Hernandez there. The breakdown in the attacking movement really gave the defensive players a bit of a job to do there. They had to turn and spin on their heels and get back as quickly as possible, and as a result concede another free kick.
That's the high standards we've set off the ball. Give the ball away, you've got to sprint back into your position, close people down. And he's probably right, he's just had a little pop at people there.
The free kick is taken down the channel for Grant on the edge of the box, forced out to the penalty area by both Dallas and Costa. Huddersfield hold the ball on the edge of the box. Really good work from Hernandez. Back to Dallas, and it'll be a long chase for Matthias Klich, the furthest man forward for Leeds. And Klich has almost got ahead of Hogg there, and he's going to win a throw-in off Hogg there. He's done great work as Matthias Klich. Can Leeds exploit this hard work done by the pole into the edge of the penalty area? Pablo Hernandez, hands in the back of Hernandez. He gets the ball into the box. It's beyond Bamford. Costa turns and shoots goalwards, and he can't get his body over the ball, and the ball rises as a result and goes wide and goes high, and just a glimmer of an opening for Leeds United there, and it all came from Klich's hard work down this left hand side.
You mentioned the late goal in the first half last week, nearly got same again, just out of something hard work, determination from Klich. It's almost like a sprinter chasing Hogg down there, won the throw in, took it quick, he just couldn't settle down for Costa. He could see what he's trying to do on his weaker right foot. Always a difficult technique, but it might take something like that, just where a bit of hard work, a bit of determination from an individual, just create something out of nothing.
Last few seconds of the first half as the ball comes into the Leeds half of the action. Ben White gets a flick on the header, and then it comes out off the near side, over the near side touchline off Kachunga, and Alioski will take the throw, and this must be about the last action of the first period. We're into added time of added time. Hernandez gets the pass a little bit wrong, but Costa can keep it in play on the far side, knocks it back to Stuart Dallas and back to Hernandez, and there is the half-time whistle and a little clap for the players from the Cowley brothers down below us. So that would seem to suggest that they would agree with Ben Parker in as much as they will be pretty happy with the way the first half has gone for their side. So it's Leeds United who will get the second half underway. Signal given by Gavin Ward. Helder Costa quickly picks the ball up on the near side touchline, and as quickly Leeds United earn their first throw in the second period. As the ball is played to our right hand side, you can see hands go to shield eyes because the sun's rays are directly into those eyes from our right hand side in this second half. Leeds get a free kick for a foul on Ben White on the halfway line, and the temperature is almost a balmy autumnal mild at the moment.
Bringing back memories.
What of?
When it was nice and warm when we were doing this, Bryn.
Okay. Early on in the season with some good away days were enjoyed. Starting with Bristol City, first game of the season. Leeds need to replicate a bit of that in the second half here maybe, as they look to extend the winning run to 6 games. Ball goes down the far side touchline. You'd say that the first half was very evenly played. Huddersfield might even have an argument for saying they shaded it, certainly in terms of the set pieces that they were afforded around the Leeds penalty area, the opportunities to get the ball into the Leeds box. Leeds just about coped, and they attack now, or try to attack now, with Bamford challenging far side. And the ball is beyond Harrison, who was a bit of a peripheral figure in that first half, didn't get too much of the ball. Jack Harrison started well and promisingly, but then maybe it was a door that Huddersfield worked out and closed. But now Leeds do try and put pressure on the man in possession. It's given to Stankovic on the edge of his home penalty area, and his ball is straight to Ayling in the centre circle. He almost stumbles under a challenge but keeps his feet. Then Hernandez stabs the ball back into the path of Stuart Dallas down the right hand side. Dallas moves forward and then loses possession, and now Leeds have got to charge back because the break is on potentially for Huddersfield. as the ball is carried forward by Hadad Dejanay on this near side, but it's a great job done by Luke Ayling to recover, slide in, get the ball back, and then Ben White and Dallas goes down. That should be a free kick. Well, nothing given there. Hand in the back of Stuart Dallas, and when he clears, he loses possession. So Costa tries to step in against Hogg, but Hogg gives it back to the man on the halfway line, Stankovic, who goes down under a challenge from Bamford, and Bamford says, stay on your feet, and the referee steps in to have a word with Patrick Bamford, and Stankovic hobbles away from the challenge, and Huddersfield ultimately will have a free kick.
Seems like a tactic, Huddersfield, just playing on every little foul, just trying to roll around a little bit, again waste a few more seconds, just trying to get in the referee's head as well. But from our point of view, just don't fall for those two little tactics.
Ben White steps in ahead of Mounier on the edge of the penalty area, but it comes back from Mounier anyway from the clearance. Now White has it back off him, and now Dallas clears the ball. It spins up in the air and it drops on the edge of the centre circle for Pablo Hernandez as Bamford sets off on a run. He's got to check the run, and then Dallas gives the ball away, and Dallas hobbles out of that misplaced pass, and it's Huddersfield who carry the ball forward with Karoma in the middle of the park for Huddersfield, still going up towards the far side of the penalty area, and there's a great challenge comes in from Jack Harrison. He read that so well, and he got beyond the Huddersfield player Mounier, and he was dropped to the ground as he did so, and so Leeds United have a free kick. But it was really excellent reading of the play there, because there was a moment of danger for Leeds.
We haven't been at his best when we've been on the ball, but the work rate, tracking back, I say, mentioned first half, putting bodies on the line, it's been excellent.
Pablo Hernandez gives the ball out towards Berardi on the left-hand side touch line, down the line, over the head of Jack Harrison, and into touch it goes. So Leeds just trying to get some sort of fluidity and fluency in the play, and it's been difficult. They haven't had enough of the ball to be able to do that. Obviously there have been changes made to the starting lineup, but now Berardi steps in, one of the players who's been asked to do the job. And then Dallas has it on the right-hand side for Leeds United. Helder Costa's a little further ahead of Stuart Dallas, and Ayling is square, and Ayling pushes forward for Leeds and gives it to Hernandez just outside the penalty area. He continues the pass forward for Helder Costa, who's into the penalty area to the byline. Can he cut the ball back? Not quite, because the fullback got across him and put the ball behind for Leeds' first corner kick of this second half, in front of the travelling army of Leeds United fans. As we turn, we shield our eyes with the sun bright over the stand behind to our right hand side, where Pablo Hernandez has gone to spot the ball up now on the near side touch line. Costa's come short, but everybody else waits for the longer ball in the penalty area, and it comes in now towards the penalty spot. Breaks out for Alioski. Yeah! Oh, what a strike! What a strike from Alioski there through a crowd of players, and it flies one bounce into the back of the net, and the Leeds fans go wild behind the goal to our right hand side, and Leeds United score from a corner kick again. Huddersfield 0, Leeds 1.
You called it, Bryn. What a strike! When it's falling to Alioski, I'm thinking, have a touch. But he knows better than us. What a hit. Fantastic technique. Kept his eye on the ball. It's 1 out of 100 strikers, that. What quality. And we mentioned he might take something out of nothing, a bit of brilliance, individual. By God, that's a goal to settle any game.
Well, we have a long way to go in this second period. 40 more minutes to play plus added time here, but Leeds United have established the platform, an important platform as well. Now you'll hear the noise from those supporters on our right hand side. There you go, volume levels very much cranked up now, as Leeds United know there's more work to be done, but they've put themselves in a good position. As the ball sails over the head of Ben White on the far side, my goodness me, the variation in corner kicks has been marked, it's been dramatic, and it's been extremely fruitful. And Pablo Hernandez, you just wonder whether Pablo Hernandez might keep this job now, because he's played some great corner kick balls into the box, or out of the box even, for Leeds this afternoon. Leeds have got the opportunity maybe to use both Phillips and Hernandez in future weeks, as Costa has the ball. Now there's space for Leeds. Of course, they might be able to exploit, as Huddersfield push men forward in this game now to try and get something out of it. Alioski comes onto the penalty area. Bamford header. What a good position he was in there, Patrick Bamford. He just couldn't direct the header on target. He glanced it, but he glanced it wide.
He must have thought he was just a bit closer to the goal with that little glance. Great ball from Alioski. Again, Costa on the half turn. been a real threat when he's had the ball as Costa this afternoon. And great movement from Bamford. He's always on the move. And like I said, it must have just thought it was closer to the goal than he actually was. Just need a bit more power on it.
So goal kick for Huddersfield Town results. Matchday Live on LUTV, brought to you by Deliveroo Food Freedom. Huddersfield Town 0, Leeds United 1. Harrison in possession for Leeds far side, under pressure, gives the ball back to Berardi. Berardi plays the ball, well, to no one in particular. In fact, he plays the ball from one side of the penalty area out across to the other side and over the near side touchline for a Huddersfield throw in. So better possession to be kept than that by Leeds to keep Huddersfield at bay as the ball comes out to this near side touchline. Huddersfield trying to build an attack here, ball into the penalty area perhaps. Man in possession is Karoma. Karoma gets away from Dallas and then gets the ball out to this near side, and the fullback as the sliding challenge from Costa is unsuccessful, and Ayling's on the edge of his own 6-yard box to head clear, and Costa does really well to step in and try and get the ball back for Leeds again, but Huddersfield have it. Haddad with the chance to cross, holds the ball at once, missed time challenge there almost from Stuart Dallas, but he recovers well, gets his foot in and knocks the ball behind, and it's going to be a corner kick to Huddersfield. So Leeds do still have lots to do in this game. Key
part of this game, just going that goal up, stay switched on, don't give anything easy away.
So Leeds have to defend Grant's corner kick as he aims at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players in the Leeds penalty area. He goes high and long towards the far post, and waiting at the far post was Berardi, and he's content just to nod the ball behind. It might have carried out for a goal kick anyway, but he couldn't take the risk because he had a player on his shoulder, Mounier, so he had to nod behind for another Huddersfield Town corner kick, this time to be taken from the far side by Bakuna. So there's a bit of variety in the Huddersfield Town corner kicks now as another man steps in to take one. Bakuna into the penalty area, heads go up in there, it's just got Ben White a touch on the ball, and then Click comes to help him out, and Click is happy just to hook the ball as far forward as he possibly can towards the halfway line. And then Click goes into challenge again on the near side, does really well to win the ball from Hogg. Now Harrison spots the run, far side, and Hernandez is in space, and it's 3v3 as Leeds pour forward here. Hernandez into the penalty area, tries the shot, oh, just wide from Pablo Hernandez. Only one thought on his mind there, the Leeds player, and he runs his fingers through his hair as the shot goes just wide. That was a chance.
Puts his hand to his head, looks up to the sky. You just expect him to find the bottom corner there. You can hear the fans now trying to give Huddersfield players a lift, because since that goal, you can feel the second one coming. The confidence from that counter-attack yet again. Harrison's pace, great pass to release Pablo. And like I said, disappointed he find the bottom corner there.
So the goal kick is played long into the Leeds half. The header is won on the halfway line. Now Mounier in possession. And then Grant steps in, and then Hogg has it in a central midfield role out to Bakuna on the right-hand side, midway inside the Leeds half, taking on Click. Click stands up, still going Bakuna, and it comes off the back of Click, and it'll go out for a throw into Huddersfield Town. And Click has went to retrieve the ball, and then just got a little hand in the back from Bakuna, which pushed him almost over the advertising hoardings on the far side. That could have been nasty, that, because he fell with his arms in the air. Click, he was out of control. And the referee has a long hard look at it, awards nothing to anybody, and doesn't even have a word with Bakuna, who will take a long throw, it would look like, for Huddersfield from the far side. He launches it into the penalty area now, headed away by Ben White towards the edge of the box, and Click just puts it up in the air. Hernandez is underneath it, it drops for Hogg, and then out towards the edge of the near side of the penalty area for Leeds, and Ayling's there, he slices his clearance, it goes into touch on this near side. So Huddersfield Town have a throw in, 56 minutes gone, Huddersfield 0, Leeds United 1. Throw in down the touchline, straight onto the head of Stuart Dallas. Can Costa pick it up? He just loops it on towards Bamford on the halfway line. He's got work to do. Oh, it's a great challenge from Bamford away from Schindler, but it was Stankovic who'd come across to cover, and it was Stankovic who just got the ball away from Patrick Bamford on the halfway line. Leeds get the shape back behind the ball as Huddersfield have possession just inside their own half. And Bakuna is forced backwards. Good work by Pablo Hernandez there. If Leeds can get them facing their own goal, Huddersfield, they'll be more than happy. Ball goes back again to Hogg, midway inside his own half. He plays a short pass to Stankovic. Huddersfield know they've got to push players forward now as the ball goes out to the far side. It's a misplaced pass, and it's beyond Kachunga rather, and it will be a Leeds United throw in. And Leeds happy enough with that.
Again, just the hard work. And you're hunting in packs as well. You always get told as players, if you're going to go closing down people, don't do it on your own, do it as a unit.
Bit of space for Hernandez to play a ball over the top out towards Harrison, who's streaking forward down the left-hand side. Defensive challenge is just about successful as Dehaney, the inexperienced Huddersfield right-back man recalled from loan at Boston, gets across ahead of him there. And that's maybe what Leeds were looking to exploit in that first period down that near side as we were watching it. And Dehaney did well enough in the first half and did well there to close the door as Leeds were trying to attack. But they have the ball now with Alioski just in from the touch line, level with the edge of the Huddersfield penalty area. Nice layoff for Harrison, who's got a bit more space now. He lays it off, or tries to lay it off for Click, but he's misplaced that one, and it's played all the way over the halfway line. Ayling charges back and gives it all the way back to Kiko Casilla, and Berardi breaks off to the goalkeeper's right, and he gives the goalkeeper an easy option, and Berardi plays it infield to Hernandez. Hernandez lays it off for Ben White, and Leeds are beginning to get into the groove now. Ben White will play the ball out to this right hand side. He's caught late, but play will continue with Leeds in possession, and Stuart Dallas attacking up to Helder Costa. Good layoff from Costa towards Click just outside the D. Click thinks about the shot, thinks again. Dallas is onside. No, he's not onside as Bamford heads in. The flag is raised, or has been raised for some time on the near side touchline, and Stuart Dallas was just beyond the last man, it would appear there.
It was a close one. Love to see the replay, as the referee's just pulled, I think it was Bakuna, back for a yellow card, challenged on Ben White, who has just released the ball. Let's look at this offside.
Oh, he's on. He's miles on. There's a man in the middle. We've got a replay here, and Stuart Dallas was a mile onside.
What a
there.
Shocking decision.
And that is a very poor call from the assistant on the near side, because the player was a good 2 yards beyond Stuart Dallas. He was standing on the penalty spot right in the middle, and that would have been a second goal for Leeds, no question, as Bamford stooped to head home.
It's not even close, Bryn. Good 2 yards onside.
Poor call. Let's hope it's not a crucial call, as Stankovic wins the ball back on the halfway line for Huddersfield Town, and he plays it infield to Mounier, but he's shrugged out of possession by Ben White, who gives it back to Casilla. Now Casilla out to Berardi, working hard to give the goalkeeper the extra option every time. Alioski down the touchline to Jack Harrison, and then Harrison to Hernandez, and Hernandez back to Alioski, and then played for, looking for Harrison's forward run, but it's cut out, and Leeds have to begin again almost from the halfway line, where Click is just happy just to launch the ball up in the air, and underneath it is Harrison, who will win the header. Dehaney or Harrison. It comes off nobody knows, do they? It comes off apparently the Leeds player last. I'm not sure the ref's assistant far side had a clue there. I'm not sure the ref did either, so it was just a pick a team, any team, I suspect. But Huddersfield have the throw in just inside their own half. Head up is beyond Ben White, but Berardi comes in behind him. Does he get a push? No, he doesn't. Play continues with Huddersfield in possession. Huddersfield have a man down, but the play, well, it was allowed to continue briefly, but again it's a head injury for the third time in this game. So again, play stops. The physio team are called on for Huddersfield, and again we're going to have a delay in proceedings. Kachunga, it's the second time he's required treatment. Well, actually, ultimately, by the time the physios arrive on the field of play, he seems to be okay. He's back on his feet, and play will resume with Leeds United in possession. It should be an uncontested drop ball, and Leeds can keep hold of it because they had the ball when the ref blew the whistle. Kachunga goes to the far side touchline before he'll be signalled back in, and Leeds United have the chance to play the ball across the back with Ben White in possession. Thought about playing it short to Ayling, then plays it instead to his left hand side, and Berardi from the left back position over the top. It's inviting for Alioski, but it's too strong, and Alioski gives a round of applause for the thought, at least, even if not the delivery, and the ball goes behind for a Huddersfield Town goal kick as the game goes into a period of something of a lull, but that suits, or surely should suit, Leeds United. Huddersfield having to get themselves back into this game. We're past the hour mark here. Huddersfield 0, Leeds United 1. Alioski the goal scorer. Fine goal it was as well. Ball on the far side with Harrison underneath it. Players from both sides jostling, and it's come away with Hernandez to Costa. Lays a nice touch off, and now Costa can chase into space down this right hand side, pursued by Hadajona, who's done a really good job there, the full-back, to slide in, get the ball away from Costa, but Dallas backs him up to really good effect, and Dallas will go instead to play the cross into the penalty area, but it's too close to the keeper, and Leeds have to race back defensively instead, because Rabara got the ball as far forward as quickly as he could there for Huddersfield. They end up with a throw-in just inside the Leeds half over on the far side. And front of the Kilner bank. Harrison has gone across to give them the ball back for the throw-in to be taken. Both sets of supporters raising the volume levels in this second half. Home fans trying to get behind their team. Leeds fans happy with what they've seen so far and desperate for the team to hang on here. As the ball goes out over the far side touchline again. Good work by Leeds, just busy. In the face of the man in possession, forcing errors. Ball goes out over the touchline for a Leeds throw-in. Alioski throws it down to Jack Harrison and gets it back from Harrison, and then gives it back to Harrison down the far side touchline. Tries to push the ball on into Bamford's path, but Alioski comes up to good effect onto the halfway line with a stooping header. Now Ayling, he's gone past the challenge really well there, and then chips the ball up for Bamford, far side of the penalty box. Bamford will try and control it. He'll let it run indeed for Harrison. Harrison almost on the byline, just outside the penalty area. In towards Bamford, great save, and it breaks almost for Costa. And then it's just cleared away by Stankovic as Leeds were ready to pounce and score a second goal. But a fine save prevented Patrick Bamford from adding to his tally this season there.
Great save down to his left-hand side. Harrison's done superbly. Great half a yard, great cross. And Bamford's done everything right. Great power on the header, just a good save.
Costa waiting on the edge of the penalty area, hoping for a ball from Dallas. It never came. Berardi has to defend, last man back for Leeds. Looping header into the Huddersfield half. All very scrappy in there, and the ball comes away with Bakuna on the far side, and then chance for Huddersfield to try and build an attack as the first challenge from Click is unsuccessful, and Kachunga has the ball, and Kachunga had the ball, and then Kachunga lost the ball, and then Leeds lose the ball via Dallas on this near side of the penalty area, and the chance for Huddersfield to get the ball into that Leeds box, and it goes to the far side. It's a brilliant save from Casilla, a point-blank header, and Kiko Casilla from the head of Kachunga keeps the scoreline at Huddersfield 0, Leeds 1.
You're not going to find a better save all season throughout the Championship. Unbelievable save, Kiko. Gets himself in a great position. He's almost not gambled, but he just kind of anticipated where the ball's going to go. Stuck up a big hand. But there's the danger. Don't turn the ball over cheaply, especially in the final third. You still have the quality, can hurt us, but what a save, just instinct from him.
So that could be a very, very important moment for Leeds United. We've seen a couple in the last few minutes. The erroneous call for offside, and then a brilliant save by Kiko Casilla just after Leeds had almost doubled their lead. Now Hernandez out towards Costa inside the penalty area on the left foot. Helder Costa takes on the defender. The ball loops up in the air as a block comes in on him, and Dallas miscontrols on the edge of the area frustratingly, but Berardi wins a header. Leeds though may have to defend still as Huddersfield win the ball back inside their own half. There's a real pace to this game now, and then the ball is run into touch by Grant on this near side, much to the delight of the Leeds United coaching staff, because all of a sudden it all opened up for both sides there, and you weren't sure which way it was going to break, but Leeds ultimately happy just for the play to stop and restart again with a throw-in. Bamford foul. Well, Stankovic made an awful lot of the challenge from Bamford. He's going to be booked at some point, isn't he, for one of these challenges. At the moment it looks like the ref's just going to have a chat, and he's just doing the totting up thing now, pointing as to how many times it's happened, and he walks away with nothing more than a lecture, and the home fans are unhappy with that. And Huddersfield ultimately have a free kick inside their own half. Left back takes it up towards the edge of the area. Ayling's header goes up in the air, it's still not clear. Alioski tries to help it away to Click, he does that, and then Click further forward. Now then, great ball for Hernandez, who's got a lot of space to run into, and he's got players further forward. Can he find one of them? He plays the ball up towards Costa, edge of the area. He tees it up for Bamford. Bamford adjudged offside. Flag up straight away on this near side. Again, it's a close call, but I think this one might be right.
Well, it's bound to get one right soon as this linesman. This one I think a bit easier for him to spot, but Pablo's going to be a massive player remaining 25 minutes or so. He's getting a lot of space now, getting on the half turn. Huddersfield kind of caught in that limbo. Do they push everyone forward, try and get back into it, or do they just try and grind it out towards like the last 5-10 minutes to try and get a goal from a set piece? There's plenty of space for us out now.
And Helder Costa's trying to exploit that very fact with a quick throw in on the near side for Matthias Click. Click has players to aim at in the far side of the penalty area, but Costa makes a run to the byline, and Costa cuts the ball back, and it's just beyond Pablo Hernandez, who is sliding into the penalty area then, and it's cleared away, and the ball goes out over the far side touchline, and Huddersfield ultimately will end up with a throw in from a moment that almost brought Leeds United another goal.
we just have that little bit of composure in the final third. Second's not too far away. Great run from Costa to get him behind the full-back. Getting cut back, just not falling to us.
Ben White with a header for Leeds. Now then, Hernandez infield to Matthias Klick. Klick on the in the centre circle to the near side, just inside Leeds territory, and Luke Ayling. Luke Ayling, now there's space for Dallas to run into down the right-hand side. Stuart Dallas moving towards the corner flag, then comes infield and Helder Costa. Helder Costa just outside the penalty area, gives it back to Stuart Dallas. Stuart Dallas left foot, tries a shot, low and hard. Pretty easy for the goalkeeper, ultimately drops to his left-hand side, gathers the ball into his body.
Simple save, but good strike from Dallas. Good technique on his weaker left foot. But you can just see they're just settling into a bit more of a rhythm now. We're building up, got the little triangle out on the right-hand side, just create that space for Dallas.
Ball bounces in the Leeds half from the goalkeeper's clearance. It goes into touch on the far side from the foot of Berardi. So Huddersfield have the throw-in just inside Leeds territory. The ball goes down the line, where it's held up by Mounier, and then Klick comes away with it. And then it's played on to Patrick Bamford. Back to goal, being wrestled with. And Patrick Bamford spins away from the challenge. And now he does get the free kick, almost for the first time in the game. And he gets a late clip on the heels or the ankle there as well, Patrick Bamford. And he stays down and he looks in pain. And the referee has to step in quickly. The Huddersfield fans on the far side of the ground not entirely impressed with Patrick Bamford there. But then you wouldn't expect them to be, would you really?
Fantastic. I like to see that.
That's the view from the Leeds camp.
Yeah. The thing is though, Huddersfield players, they've been doing exactly the same what Bamford's doing there. I think Hogg did give him a little kick off the ball. But no, it's build-up play, looking after the ball. And it is Hogg who's just got given the yellow card.
Yeah, Hogg yellow carded. So he joins a couple of Leeds players in the referee's book. And another Huddersfield teammate as well, Acuna. And still Patrick Bamford down and still requiring treatment. And we look at the clock and it tells us that we're into the 70th minute here at the John Smith Stadium. Huddersfield Town 0, Leeds United 1. Matchday Live on LUTV, brought to you by Deliveroo Food Freedom. As Bamford gets back to his feet, there are boos from the home supporters. And Patrick Bamford, a little gingerly, walks away from that chance. I think he's holding his arm, Patrick Bamford. So maybe it was the way he fell, I don't know. Whatever it was, the Huddersfield fans aren't impressed. Suggestions of a kick in the elbow maybe, and that's certainly where he's holding currently. Anyway, he's okay. And Leeds with Berardi in possession. And now White on the far side touchline. Berardi skids as he tries to play the ball forward, and it's misplaced as a result. And Huddersfield from Dehaney on the right back position. Long ball forward. Now Grant under pressure from Ayling. Ayling with a second challenge, gets the header. And Klick again steps into good effect there. We've seen him just happy to get the ball as far forward, as high up in the air as possible on a number of occasions in this second half. Ayling with a looping header. Again, it's really scrappy. But Leeds not so concerned now as Ayling makes a diving header for Leeds where the boots are flying. And then it falls behind Alioski, but he's happy that there's nobody in a blue and white shirt there. And he gets it to Harrison, midway inside the Leeds half. Harrison is forced all the way back towards almost the edge of his own penalty area, and then White in space, and it's really well worked by Leeds United. They didn't panic under pressure, and they got the ball from one side of the penalty area to the other, and as a result now Ayling has a bit of space to play in, and he gives the ball down to Dallas on this near side. Dallas back to Hernandez, and Hernandez to Costa, to Dallas, and back to Costa again. There's a bit more space for Leeds now as they push forward, as Hernandez comes on the right hand side, and Hernandez up and into the penalty area. Can he get it on the left foot? He chips it up to Alioski, waiting. Alioski with the drive, and he comes to the penalty spot, and Costa, but Costa's leaning back, and he gets over the ball, and the ball goes over the crossbar. But there was some brilliant approach play from Leeds there, and it nearly brought that second goal.
Fantastic. All started on the far side in the left back kind of position, built all the way through. I think for Costa, just half a yard, just a slight touch behind him.
So the first change of the game is a Huddersfield Town change of the game. And we're interested to see young Cian Harrott, 17 years old, local lad, come into the play. And former Leeds player Lee Bromby is his coach, and he thinks very highly of him, suggested that he'll play in the Premier League one day. He looks a big lad for 17, physically strong, so he gets an opportunity in the closing stages of this game to make himself a Huddersfield hero. Leeds hoping he has a quiet day.
Yeah, and with Harry, I know quite a lot of his family members, so I've followed his progression coming through. He mentioned Liam Bromby there as well. Everyone speaks really high of him, so he's a young lad. He'll look to impress. Sometimes with these young players, they do something out of the ordinary, but if we just defend like we have done for the first 71, approaching 72 minutes, just keep them at bay.
That's the only exercise Leeds are involved in ultimately now. Second goal would be great, but the key now is yet another clean sheet, as the ball is there for Leeds to defend. Berardi chasing it back towards his own goal. Good ball from Berardi to Ayling, and then Ayling, a less subtle clearance from Ayling straight onto the chest of Stankovic in the centre circle. Huddersfield come again with the ball at the feet of Hogg. Hogg delivers out to the right hand side to Kachunga, who plays a ball up into the penalty area. Players in there, underneath it is Dallas. He can't get the header, it breaks to the edge of the box. Leeds trying to get the ball and the possession back, and Costa does that, but only temporarily. Gives it away to Schindler. Huddersfield come. Alioski, great challenge far side. Alioski wins the ball back for Leeds, and Bamford goes on a run down the left-hand touchline. Loads of work to do for Patrick Bamford, but he's got to the ball first. He goes towards the corner flag, pursued by the boos of the home supporters there, and ultimately wins Leeds what you would say was a brilliant throw-in right down by the corner flag at the far end of the ground.
Done excellent yet again there. Could hear the Leeds fans chanting his name. He's done everything today apart from get his name on the score sheet.
Well, we're interested to see that Eddie Nketiah is about to come on for Leeds here. Would it be a swap with Bamford? I fancy it won't, but we'll see. It might be like for like, because Patrick Bamford has done sterling work up there with little or no return. He goes down in the penalty area under a challenge from Stankovic, looks to the assistant, nothing given, but Harrison is on the far side with possession for Leeds, and Leeds have a corner kick. Good work by Jack Harrison down the left hand side, and they just hang fire on Eddie Nketiah. In fact, Eddie Nketiah is stripped ready to come on, and now has just disappeared down the tunnel down below, so I'm not entirely sure what's happened there. Maybe something to do with his match day equipment isn't correct, so Nketiah has disappeared out of sight, and Leeds will have to wait to make whatever change it is they're going to make. Bamford, straight swap, would that be? Or something different?
It looks to be kind of that way. Well, that's how he's gone in the past, but for me, I'd leave Bamford out there. He's upsetting the centre halves, and he's looking after the ball superbly, giving us a great platform.
Well, Eddie Nketiah has reappeared, and he says to the fourth official, I'm okay now, I'm ready, whatever it was. But the play continues anyway with Leeds to take the corner kick. Harrison swings the ball into the penalty area. Over the heads it goes. Stankovic heads clear on the far side. And then it comes out for Alioski, and Alioski up to the edge of the centre circle. The only man back there is Stuart Dallas. He delivers it wide. Can Hernandez keep it in? No, he can't. So he gives a thumbs up to Stuart Dallas, but the ball was a little overhit for the Spaniard there. And the ball goes over the far side touchline. Are Leeds ready to make that change? Not yet, it would appear. Just still waiting. Is it because the ball's up in the attacking area as far as Leeds are concerned? Drops on almost on the halfway line. Berardi underneath it, gives it out to Dallas on this near side. He has to run back to get possession, and then gives it all the way back to Kiko Casilla. And a check on the scoreboard clock tells us 75 minutes have gone here at the John Smith Stadium. Huddersfield 0, Leeds United 1. Leeds attacking with a great ball from Hernandez. Now Bamford into the penalty area, and it's gone wide for Patrick Bamford, and the challenge comes in from the captain Schindler. And ultimately the two central defenders actually did enough of a job there on the Leeds attacker to force him away from goal, to take the pace out the run. And Schindler did well to slide across Bamford, and Huddersfield retrieved the ball as a result. Ben White underneath the long clearance forward. Still Nketiah waits on the near side touchline. Stankovic for Huddersfield gives the ball out wide. Alioski is putting pressure on the man in possession. Stankovic has it again, stepping a little further forward now, the central defender. Goes out wide to the right hand side to Haney. Comes back infield to Hogg. Hogg pushes the ball the far side touchline. Back to Dehaney again, then back to Bacuna. Leeds pursuing every man in possession. And Patrick Bamford has that job to do now as Helder Costa steps out of a defensive position to try and put pressure on as Huddersfield play it from the back. Schindler in possession over the halfway line, gives the ball out wide to the far touchline. Alioski puts the foot in. Referee says foul by Alioski. Play stops, and maybe now the change will finally be made by Leeds United. It will indeed. 14 minutes to go. It is the straight swap. So Patrick Bamford, not a goal scoring afternoon for Bamford, but he'll wait. And he sees the signal now, and he'll tell it's Patrick Bamford who's being substituted from the reaction of the home supporters. So Eddie Nketiah to come in and Bamford to come off.
He'll enjoy this reception from the Huddersfield fans. You can see his nice little grin on his face. I'll tell you what, he's been absolutely superb as Bamford.
And he gets a big ovation from the away supporters at least. And there are a few Leeds fans in and around us here in the main stand, and they stand to applaud him off as well. So they recognise the efforts of the Leeds striker, and Eddie Nketiah comes on to provide something maybe just a little bit different. Maybe the out ball is on with the pace of Nketiah, but his first job is going to be to go and join in defensively for Leeds United, as they have to make sure they keep out this free kick from the halfway line up towards the edge of the penalty area. Heads go up there, Ben White makes contact, it drops for Berardi, and Berardi can play it down the line for Costa, and if Costa looks up, there's space for the runners here. There's a lot of space for the runners here, and Nketiah does well in the centre circle to give it to Alioski, and Leeds fly forward. Harrison down the left hand side, bodies in the box, and it goes to Hernandez. Yes! Oh, what a goal that is from Pablo Hernandez.
Come on!
Brilliant breakaway football from Leeds United, from back to front, and Pablo Hernandez with the header at the far post has maybe scored the goal that wins Leeds United the game. Huddersfield 0, Leeds United 2.
We mentioned previously, about 10 minutes ago, about building up, having that composure, the quality in the final third. The second goal would come. What a counter-attack. Starting this right back position with it was Berardi played to Costa, end up building out towards Harrison. What a cross. All you needed, a bit of composure, just a bit of quality. There's Pablo, header on target, bottom corner, 2-0. That should be game, set and match.
Well, you could feel it developing, couldn't you? Because the pace at which Leeds broke away there, when they looked up, suddenly it was all open, it was all on, and they fly forward so quickly. Huddersfield couldn't match that, and Leeds United perfectly exploited the opportunity with a fine goal. Leeds are on course to go back to the top of the table, as the away fans are pointing out. That's where they currently sit, and 12 minutes plus added time separate Leeds from being back at the top of the tree going into Christmas. That's where you want to be. Free kick for Huddersfield is conceded midway inside the Leeds half, far side. Ben White is the culprit on this occasion, and maybe White is going to get a yellow card. Alioski goes in to argue his teammates' case here, but the referee is calling White towards him over on the far side touchline. The hand goes to the pocket, and the pencil comes out, if it is indeed still a pencil. And he will be taking a note of the Leeds central defender's name. The number is 5, the name is White, and the card is yellow. Free kick then to Huddersfield Town. So Leeds with that 2-goal advantage, plenty to hang on to here, but they just want to keep themselves out nicely in front going into the closing stages of this game, as a few of the home fans have now decided there's nothing in this game for them this afternoon. They start to head towards the exits here at Huddersfield. So Leeds are on course, but the job is not done yet, as we move up towards the 81st minute of this game. Leeds to defend this corner kick from the right hand side. Bakuna takes it, swings it in towards the penalty spot, and the header is just wide. And Leeds are lucky, and they know it, because Casilla was beaten there, but the header wasn't on target, and it goes wide, and the scoreline remains Huddersfield 0, Leeds 2.
Again, hopefully that is another just warning sign. Can't switch off. Yeah, the second goal's great, but you've got to see this game out now. You can see Bielsa is shouting at the players, just want to be organised, because defensively, when you're throwing bodies on the line, the shape has been great. We've stayed with runners, but like I say, just don't switch off, even at this stage now.
Well, the header was from Grant, Huddersfield's leading scorer. He scored half their goals this season, and that definitely should have been another one, because he got in front of everybody at the near post. The keeper was rooted, and he put the header wide, and Leeds have every reason to feel happy about that. Sometimes it's about taking your chances. Leeds have done that in this second half. One has been a moment of brilliance from Alioski. Half volley through a crowd of players that flew into the net. And then a quite brilliant, breathtaking breakaway goal from Leeds that went from left to right and ended up in the back of the net from the head of Pablo Hernandez. And Nketiah with a foul challenge just inside the Huddersfield half, called by Gavin Ward. Didn't do an awful lot wrong, I didn't think there, Eddie Nketiah. Just didn't jump for the ball with the Huddersfield player, who came off his back and landed awkwardly. And maybe it's the awkward landing that made it look a bit worse than it was. Anyway, whatever, it's a free kick to Huddersfield that will be taken from just inside their own territory. We might have another appearance from the physios, who've been busy. They've put a shift in the 2 Huddersfield physios so far this afternoon. This time they're sent back into the dugout, and the play will resume with a Bakuna free kick. just to the right of the centre circle. Leeds United chasing a 6th successive victory here. Bakuna, right foot ball into the penalty area. Again, Leeds have got to defend it. And again, there's a runner in there, and they've let him go. And they have cause to be grateful that the furthest man forward, Mounier, didn't make contact with the ball there. Because if he had done, it was a problem.
It's almost like he didn't want to make contact with it, because he just got the run on his marker. 6 yards out? Just didn't fancy getting a touch on the ball, thankfully for us. But just gone sloppy since we got that second goal. Very unlike us. Usually we kick on when we get the goals.
Well, Huddersfield are about to make another change, and there's another young man coming into the action for them. As Mounier's non-intervention on that previous attack is his last action of the game, and the man who comes on to replace him is Matty Daly. So Huddersfield now going through the young replacements, and the Cowley brothers down below us will argue that that has not made their task any easier this afternoon. But it's been a real struggle, it's been a real battle, and Leeds are about to make their own introduction of a new face, as Casey is getting instructions from the coaching staff down below us. And when you're wearing the number 49 shirt, you know you've come a distance to make your way into the first team, don't you?
Yeah, I'm delighted to see him about to get his chance, his debut. He's a player who's come on leaps and bounds over the last year to 18 months, working with Mark Jackson, Billy Russell, Neil Sullivan under 18s. It was only last year he was playing under 18s football, so to make the step up with the 23s, looks really good, composed, and now to get his debut, I'm absolutely delighted for the lad.
So Leeds wait to make a change. Ollie Casey is about to come on any second. Well, not just yet, is he? Well, the referee's told Huddersfield that the change will be made now. And so the board goes up with 43 off, that's Click, and 49 on. So well done to Ollie Casey. A moment for him to remember as he comes into the action for Leeds United. Matthias Click will get a huge round of applause from the Leeds fans behind the goal and around us here, as you can probably hear in the background in the main stand at Huddersfield as well. And Click has done his job, and he's done his job well as well. It's been more of a defensive role really for Matthias Click today, filling in with Calvin Phillips absent, but he's done it to very good effect.
He has, and just a few positional changes. Ayling's gone to like the right wing back, Dallas into the central midfield role, with Casey just going at side of Ben White.
So Leeds have the defending to do as Haddad Dejanay keeps the ball in play on this near side. He's got a run at the penalty area, and he plays the ball back towards the edge of the box, and the shot from the penalty spot, and again just wide. And this time it's the sub Daly who gets very, very close to his first ever Huddersfield goal, because Casilla was stuck in the middle of his nets there, and the ball rolled just wide of his right hand post, and Leeds have another little moment of relief.
Sometimes things go your way. We didn't get the offside decision. Don't know how he got that wrong, to be honest, thinking about it again. But no, we just rode his luck a couple of times this second half now, where you expect those chances to be put away. But all good teams, all successful sides, they earn that bit of luck by the hard work they've put in. We've certainly put a shift in today.
5 minutes to go here, plus added time. Leeds United with a 2-goal cushion. Ben White defends for Leeds at the back, over the top for Nketiah to chase, and Nketiah, well, we know how quick he is. He puts pressure on Schindler, and Schindler has to react well to turn and get the ball away from the penalty area, and then Alioski steps in, just what Leeds need now. Keep the ball in that Huddersfield half, keep it out wide, and make sure that they don't give any more glimmers of opportunity to the home team in their own penalty area. Ball on the halfway line. It's knocked back and it's misplaced, and it's given straight to Eddie Nketiah, and Nketiah almost picks out the run of Harrison, who'd gone wide on the left hand side, but that pass is intercepted. Huddersfield have the ball on the edge of their own D. Stankovic under pressure from Hernandez, and Hernandez, now Casey gets his first throw. He's done well there. Ollie Casey steps in to good effect. Two young players up against each other there, Harrott and Casey comes out on top as the foul is committed over on the far side touchline, I think by Harrott on Alioski. Just a little push in the back, and Leeds will make their final change with Barry Douglas ready to come on for the away side, and Helder Costa, who's put in a really good shift down this right hand side for Leeds. He's going to take a bit of a break from the action. Remind you, Leeds back in action on Tuesday evening. Another big game to come at Ellen Road, one to look forward to. Another opportunity for Leeds United to keep the run going, try and build the gap, create a bigger gap between Well, it would be top spot and those chasing at the moment. The key gap at the moment, though, is second to third. Doesn't really matter if it's nip and tuck at the top. It's keep winning games, keep building, keep opening up the space between yourselves and those chasing. With loads of games to come, of course, over the Christmas period. Berardi out towards the far side touchline, and the ball goes down the touchline. It's straight into the chest of Stankovic. 3 minutes of normal time remaining. Bacuna for Huddersfield, misplaced, poor ball that from Bacuna, no chance for Grant, and all the noise now is only coming from one area of the stadium, and I don't need to tell you which area of the stadium that is. It's going to be a short but a very happy journey home for those travelling Leeds supporters this afternoon. They won't mind getting stuck in traffic on the A62, which is the inevitable outcome after a game at Huddersfield. They will sit and enjoy their rest of the day. Maybe a drink will be taken, I don't know. Pablo Hernandez trying to work the ball in field, but loses out. Now Hogg for Huddersfield. Out towards the right-hand side. Hogg, well, he's just running parallel with the halfway line, and then ultimately there's no movement for him. And Douglas from the left-back position does really well to read it and then link up and try and get the ball forward. Given away again to Hogg, though. I think Casey steps out really well from the back. Shirt was being tugged, but he got to it anyway. But then the ball is given away by more experienced players. Stuart Dallas and Bacuna has it. Now Huddersfield with Grant on the edge of the penalty area, into the penalty area indeed. Leeds have bodies in the way, comes back out to Bacuna. Bacuna is 8 yards outside the box, still with the ball at his feet. It's nipped away from him. Good defensive work from Ben White. Leeds pretty much everyone, well, in fact Leeds do have everybody back behind the ball now. We're in the 89th minute. Hogg for Huddersfield Town. Huddersfield 0, Leeds United 2. Ball goes out to the right hand side. The forward ball towards the corner flag is too hard and it's gone out. That's brilliant for Leeds. It's gone behind. It's a goal kick to the away team, and the finish line is now very much in sight.
Just watching Luke Ayling there give a little high five to Ollie Casey. Great work from the captain there. We give him loads of confidence in that. He settled into the game superbly. Stepped in front of his marker twice, come out with the ball. But you know, what a win this will be. From a scrappy first half, second half just got that moment of brilliance from Alioski just to kind of settle us down. And then the second goal, great teamwork, great counter-attack.
Leeds still defending in numbers as the ball is down by the corner flag far side. Leeds United haven't lost a league game since right at the start of October, so the run continuing deep into mid-December and on towards Christmas. 2 home games to come this week. Leeds still have a little bit of work to do here. We wait for the board to go up as it's chipped up into the box. Garcia, easy catch of the Leeds keeper. Remember, made one crucial save with the scoreline at just 1-0. And Garcia made a brilliant stop from an attacking header. And that has proved to be a pivotal moment, because having kept Leeds in front, Leeds have got a second goal. And that's taking them so close now to another big win here in the West Yorkshire derby. 4 added minutes to come. Leeds have 4 minutes just to hang on and make sure that the job is done. Ball on the edge of the centre circle, and Leeds are defending again, happy just to step off the man in possession, and it goes back into the centre circle and Stankovic short ball to Hogg. Hogg has to go back to the halfway line. Leeds not letting slip at all in terms of the work rate here. Harrott is in possession for Huddersfield, but he's forced back towards his own half, to the halfway line as well. And now Bacuna tries to thread the ball through a gap that is closed by Alioski. Alioski gets to his feet. Oh, what good work from Alioski there. And it's just a real shame that Nketiah slips as he tried to get away from Stankovic. But the upshot of that work from Gianni Alioski is that Huddersfield now are back deep in their own half again, as the Leeds fans in the main stand begin to leave the ground. Little Leeds salute given towards the commentary team there as one fan was leaving, fairly surreptitiously, because he is technically in enemy territory.
We'd have given the salute back, but literally we cannot move it.
I haven't been able to move my arms for well over an hour now. As the ball is with Bacuna on this near side. Bacuna down the channel for Daly. Daly on the edge of just outside the penalty area. Good work from the young player. Comes back out for Bacuna again. And Dallas, great challenge from Dallas. Now Leeds can break. Alioski can carry the ball forward for Leeds United, if he wants to, that is. And Nketiah, and he's caught by Stankovic, but fairly, says the ref. And Nketiah stays down. Stankovic gets up. Hogg comes away with the ball. But it's a pass that hits the back of Daly, and then it comes off Ali Ayling, and then there's a foul. Perfect for Leeds United. That has a check on the clock, tells us that we are now almost at the midpoint of the added time here, and Leeds have a free kick just outside their own penalty area, and they are now cruising towards another victory. What a run this has been from Leeds United.
And this is the first time all afternoon where I kind of felt comfortable, a bit relaxed now with the game. Even when we went 2-0 up, mentioned a couple of chances, went Huddersfield's way, didn't take them. You always felt they got a goal back, it'd have been a nervy kind of end to this game, but it looks like we're going to have another clean sheet. 6th win on the bounce. I'll tell you what, bouncing into Tuesday's game.
Marching on together, rings out from the travelling supporters on our right-hand side as the last knockings of the game are played out, with Huddersfield playing the ball up towards the halfway line. Harrison does a good job for Leeds there. Blocks the first ball, and the second one hits him in the back. So Leeds have almost won possession back. They have won possession back. Harrison, they just non-stop Leeds, relentless at the front and at the back as well. Great work from Berardi to skip away from a attacking challenge and then brings the ball away. Just intelligent football from Leeds. And they close the game out so well. Hernandez, well, it's a tricky one for Ollie Casey, but he's done brilliantly well again. He can be really pleased, Ollie Casey, with his contribution in these closing stages. Not put a foot wrong. Harrison for Leeds. Now there's space for Leeds as well in this final minute of the game, as Hernandez has it. They won't be too anxious or eager to get a ball forward, but if the opportunity presents itself, why not? Alioski, back it goes to Hernandez. Huddersfield know the game is up. Hernandez, little tug on his shirt, but nothing given. Alioski has it back anyway for Leeds, and all they need to do now is keep the possession, keep an eye on the clock, and we are 20 seconds away from the end of added time. So then it'll be down to the referee to add whatever he feels is necessary, which won't be anything very much, because the players continued at a good pace throughout this additional period. He's had the first check on the watch now. Leeds United have a throw in, and the ground is emptying rapidly here, all bar those behind the goal who are celebrating and singing and ready to acclaim yet another Leeds United victory. As the throw-in comes in, and that's the last action, and Leeds United claim the bragging rights from the West Yorkshire derby, and they ultimately do it in some style. Having had to battle hard in the first period, Leeds United scored 2 excellent goals in the second half, and those 2 goals were good enough to extend the winning run. They were good enough to put Leeds United back on top of the Championship table, and Leeds United have enjoyed an excellent afternoon ahead of a short trip home. Final scoreline here, Huddersfield Town 0, Leeds United 2.
Excellent win, grind it out. We all go back to what Bielsa said a few weeks ago. It's not about the performance, it's just getting the result. And that kind of epitomises today, really. Yet first half, it was just a scrappy old game. A lot of stop starting, better play acting from the Huddersfield Town players. The second half, we just relied on that bit of brilliance from Alioski, start of the half, and he settled everybody down then. And then the second goal, real quality, real team effort. And in the end, we deserved the victory. Obviously got that goal ruled out for offside, could have been even more. Kiko, yes, he made a fantastic save, one of the best saves you'll see all season. But the defensive kind of structure, the shape of the boys out of possession were different class, throwing the bodies on the line. The work rate, I've not seen a fitter Leeds team probably this decade. And that just goes to show hard work can win your games also. Don't have to rely on brilliance all the time. But today we had both brilliance from Alioski, hard work from everyone else, and what a win to take us back to the top of the table.
So it's been another really good away day for Leeds United. That's 7 wins on the road for Leeds now. And the players go to acclaim those fantastic travelling supporters behind the team wherever they go in huge numbers. And the excitement levels continue to build around Leeds. The run continues for Leeds. And Leeds United are back on top of the table. Full time here in the West Yorkshire derby. Huddersfield Town 0, Leeds United 2.